I mean, at this point, if we haven't decided Mashle is a masterpiece, we really have to after episode 21, right? Like, the Wahlberg stuff alone made this a certified banger of an episode. And initially, I was a little bummed out when we switched over. Whether it was going to be MASH or the Coliseum area, I was like, Wahlberg's stuff is just so interesting. That's all we need to focus on. But MASH's stuff might have been even better. I don't know. Our boy won't remember a face a second he looks away. But as soon as he sees magic used one time, he'll know it, and you can't use it twice on him. Whatever is going on in this kid's brain, we might never know. But Cream Puff Party, our boy choked this man out so hard, he hallucinated, thinking Mash had a cream puff for a head, and instead, no, it was a helmet, and then he shoved cream puffs down his mouth to the point of knocking him out. This is Mashle? I have no idea, and I just kind of assume what we see is reality because this man took a goddamn nap after he learned that his dad bred him only to sacrifice him for an immortal heart. Life's too stressful, I'm going to bed. I can relate, Mash, but Jesus Christ. This is probably the single greatest episode of this show I've seen. Just the production, the badassery, the fact that Wahlberg is built this different, yet it still feels like Innocent Zero can go toe-to-toe with him. I don't know how, but his energy is seeming so. This has to be a masterpiece, man. Like, there's no other way to put it. I have a full live reaction to this week's episode over on my Patreon. If you want to see my full and gut thoughts to this bloody insane episode and all these episodes of Mashle, it's over there if you're interested. Like, holy, like, which one do you even pick? Both sections of the episode were equally amazing. Like, Wahlberg stuff, right? I'm still worried for Wahlberg. And you might say I'm crazy because Wahlberg, I mean, after literally launching the most deadly attack that literally rips apart not only his master, his previous sensei's body to pieces and, you know, rest in peace, he also did it to the puppeteer, so I'm pretty sure he killed both there with that blast. There's something about Innocent Zero. There's something about him that I feel like is going to either imprison or badly hurt. I don't think kill, but that's always a possibility. But I do think if you put Wahlberg and MASH together as a team, they would defeat anyone guaranteed. Like, this episode confirms at least that, in theory, Wahlberg is the strongest character in this world. But, you know, there's a lot of ways shit could go wrong. But the idea of using necromancy, basically, like, that's really what it was. Bringing back their master, who basically trusted 3 students, kind of pupils, to, you know, rise above and be amazing, and then one of which just pretty much turned to the dark arts, where the other lived up to expectations and if not surpassed. The idea that you use someone who used to be so much stronger than all of them, like, even if it doesn't have the consciousness or the soul, the body still functions, so all that power is there. And the idea of someone using a puppeteer-like maneuver to use that attack, I mean, while it's not going to be free run level animation like we saw in the past couple of episodes of that show, it does remind me of the style quite a bit with how they were launching multiple different types of like dark magic style attacks. It wasn't just simply a giant hyper beam or a black hole of death. Like, they did a few different maneuvers, all of which were really interesting. And like the way they were explaining how you couldn't deflect or like ricochet it or even counter it, like it's gonna hit something, and then the fact that he just says, nah, I don't think so. Most of what he did in this episode was done not because of his own magic, but because of the staff's power. He was moving pieces of this fool's body to different pieces of space. Like, don't worry, you're fine, you're not dead yet, like it's okay. And then he goes like Super Saiyan and uses his actual power and unleashes this giant wall blast that not only eliminates the body, but the man controlling it. I mean, I know he says that, you know, like, oh yeah, you can survive initially with some pieces missing, because they're not gone, they're just moved. That has to either have killed him or sent him off into another dimension and we'll never see him again, because holy hell, I severely underestimated what Wahlberg was capable of. I said it last week, I underestimated him. I have to reiterate this. I underestimated him completely. Like, I understand when you have like the Harry Potter parody that a lot of the show can be looked at, and you know, if you look at old Dumbledore, the dude was a badass. Like, at the same time, I've seen so many like elderly wizard like mentor characters who might cast a cool spell here or there, but they don't actually live up to maybe that old, he ain't Merlin, right? Like, A lot of these wizards aren't as cool as they think they are. No, Wahlberg's him. The fact that this jolly fellow who's always laughing and smiling, who's putting so much faith into Mash, is actually this broken is insane. I really hope he beats Innocent Zero, but this doesn't feel like the ending. This doesn't feel like the end game in terms of like, oh, you know, if we defeat Innocent Zero here, Innocent Zero either has to retreat or he has to die. I don't think he's dying. Maybe he retreats, that's up in the air. But if Innocent Zero beats Wahlberg, however he does that, how would he do it? Well, he'd either have to kill Wahlberg, capture him, and they can't really retreat because obviously this is their location. Do I think he's dying? Probably not, but I am open to the possibility. Could he capture him for something? I don't see what he would capture him for. I don't know. I am worried. But if Mash can defeat his opponent, which he just did, the others can defeat the Coliseum stuff, I mean, it's possible. But, you know, I'm open to heartbreak here because you can't get me this connected to a character and how badass he is and, you know, not expect me to worry that characters might be obliterated. But hopefully he pulls through. That's all I'm hoping. Mash's stuff was funny, though, because Mash has, like, a lot of crushing reality set in on him. He's like, oh, my dad, who I didn't know, came back into the picture and wants me dead so he can make an immortal heart. I'm going to bed. I've never related harder to Mash than in that moment. Just all the bullshit of life thrown at you and you're just like, you're not even like lashing out. You're just like, I'm going to bed. Some people drink, some people sleep their pain away. And Jesus, man, like, the out-of-pocketness of both of their reactions to each other and what they're saying was just fantastic. In another reality, I think they could have some interesting friendships just because of the what-the-hell nature of both of their reactions. But the idea of, like, those buzzsaws that were just flying around, I mean, I've seen a lot of Mash things that have left me flabbergasted. I think the single most what the hell did I just see is what he did at the end. So he runs away from the buzzsaws because he can't really get in front of them because he uses two as shields. There's all these diamond spikes that are about to skewer the Coliseum and he just runs. And as this man's like, why did he, like, does he just not care? Mash is behind him. This man literally ran at the speed of the Flash, looped around and said, here's Johnny, and choked him out. Diamond Skin be damned. He was so, his tricep, biceps, fucking throat muscle magic, whatever he does, like everything he calls his magic, all I know is he's built different. In a way, I would love to see Mash versus Wahlberg just as a fun final fight of the story. So that's another reason he has to stay alive. We need to see the bullshit meter continue to rise. In my mind, Mashle is criminally underwatched. I don't think it's underappreciated. The people who watch it do appreciate it, but Jesus, like, this show, in my honest opinion, should have, like, Demon Slayer level popularity. I honestly feel that way. But let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Like, what is Mash, man? Like, just let me know what you're feeling down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and of course ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we have that full live reaction over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Sleek4, Andrew Hongeman, Jesse Wright, Casey Holscher, Lynx, and Skeleton. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Have a good one.